All right, everybody, welcome to PitchFest. We are so excited here for this event. This is the biggest event that we've ever put on, and chances are you came here because you're a salesperson. Most likely you are a real estate salesperson, even though we might have a few other people on this webinar or so. And every single day as a salesperson, you are being bombarded with pitches, and you are pitching yourself all day long. Whether someone's trying to sell you something or you're trying to sell someone else, it has a major impact on your day, your ability to overcome pitches and give objections, and for your ability to pitch and overcome objections as well. So what makes a great sales pitch? That's the question that we are going to answer today with a ton of amazing people online. This is our very first Pitch Fest. We are excited for this one. That's why we doubled up on the topics, because we are going with coaches and agents, agent buyer pitches, seller buyer or seller pitches, and coaches pitching their products. So at the end of the day, it's all about helping you with your sales pitch, listening to other agents, and then if you do need more help, selecting a coach that can help you refine that pitch. That's what it's all about. But before we move on, let me do a quick introduction. My name is Steve Pacinelli. I'm the Chief Marketing Officer over here at BombBomb. I've been pitching products to real estate agents for 20 years now, whether it was CRM products, website products, lead gen products. I love to pitch. It's one of my favorite things to do. And I met my co-host of this webinar here today, Chris Smith, pitching all of those products. And I've learned a massive amount from Chris Smith on pitching products, on a webinar, pitching products, face-to-face, pitching it on stage. And that's why we decided together that we wanted to do something totally unique and put this presentation together for all the agents that are out there. So let me introduce Chris Smith, the man that wrote the book on pitches with his conversion code. Chris, are we going to have fun today or what, man?
Man, I'm so excited, Steve. This is such a cool event. It's obviously something that resonated. More than 5,000 people registered. More than 2,000 people are going to be watching live. And some of the biggest and most popular and successful names in coaching weren't even willing to show up. So you know you're onto something when people are backing out or when people are afraid to log on. And it really is meant to be fun. Like Jared and Jay and Lee and Mike, and then the agents that are coming on. This is about the best people in the world at pitching you. And we thought that you could learn from that. So Steve and I started a blog. It feels like forever ago. I told Steve I was skinny and he didn't have gray hair. You know, that was a long time ago. But basically, we started a blog called Tech Savvy Agent together. You know, Steve taught me how to sell from the stage, and we just thought we'd get the band back together. BombBomb, Curaytor, Chris and Steve, PitchFest. And so we reached out to our network, and, you know, thankfully they said yes. So I can't wait for this. I've got my pen and paper, Steve. I'm going to be taking notes. I've got my sales team watching. They've got to tell me what their takeaways after PitchFest were. So I usually get excited to be on stuff, but I'm not usually the one taking notes. But with the people pitching today, I'm here to learn. Now, we wanted to give everybody a thank you for attending. So before we go to the first pitch, we're going to give away throughout the webinar, Steve, 5 signed copies of my book. We're also going to give away a DJI Osmo Mobile, which is a crazy cool, it's like over $100 camera contraption that basically helps you film way better, smoother videos. And all you have to do to enter is you just have to go to Instagram right now and follow BombBomb and Curaytor on Instagram. So go to Instagram, pull it up on your phone, search BombBomb, search Curaytor, make sure you follow us. And then the other thing I'm doing, Steve, is I'm giving away the buyer and seller sales scripts from the book to every person today. So 6 people are going to be entered to win a prize. Every single person that does this gets a free copy of my buyer and seller sales script. And to get that, follow us on Instagram, number 1. Number 2, you're going to go to the Curaytor Facebook page. And when you get to Curaytor's Facebook page, the post at the top is about PitchFest. and I want you guys to share that pinned post. Hey, I'm watching PitchFest. It's on right now. This is going to be amazing. You should watch too. So go to Facebook and share the pinned post. And then the last step, and we'll recap this again at one of the breaks, send a message to the Curaytor Facebook page and let us know that you were on PitchFest and you want the free scripts. So follow us, share the pinned post, send Curaytor a message. Everybody gets the scripts. 6 people get entered to win. We'll announce those winners at each break, Steve.
Yep, we're going to do that right now. So let's just get into the basic format and the workflow so everyone knows what to expect. We'll push past that really quick, and then we will get to the coaches, because that's going to be the first round here for today. One other thing that I know keeps popping up here in the chat, yes, we are recording this. Yes, you will receive the recording of this presentation. So I know that's going to come up again and again and again. So here's what we have here, Chris. We have 12 contestants. We have 4 per category, 3 categories: coaches, buyer pitches, and seller pitches. We wanted this to be quick, 3-minute pitches a piece. Now, we realize when you're pitching yourself, you're taking all the knowledge that you're gaining from the other person, and you're asking them questions, and you're figuring out who they are and what they need, and we totally get that. And we're not really doing that here. This is really answering the question, if you are a buyer's agent or a listing agent, this is answering the question, why should I choose you as my realtor? And if you're a coach, this is answering the question, why should I choose you as my coach? So we wanted to be quick and fast paced. We're going to do 2 rounds here. And this is what's so awesome with this, because the first round is going to be the pitch round. This is where you're going to hear people like Jared James and Jay Kinder and Michael Hellicksen pitch their coaching services. And then you're going to hear agents like Cece and Raj, pitch their buyer pitch and their seller pitches. Then round 2 is you're going to then be able to provide objections or questions. And we're going to poll the audience. You guys are going to be able to vote on your favorite pitches, and we're going to poll the audience, and you guys are going to be able to type in your objections, and we're going to look at the most common or the best objections. And then round 2, we're going to hit them with the objections. What are the common objections that you get on a day-to-day basis when you do your listing presentation and your buyer's presentation? Those are the things that you're going to want to ask them, and you're going to be able to hear some of the best people in the industry overcome those objections from an agent perspective, or for coaches, for coaching and why you should be in coaching. So highly interactive. This is the way it's going to go. We have 2 rounds, as I mentioned. Coaches, then you're going to put in your vote, and then we're going to get your objection solicitation, and then we'll do agents, buyers, sellers, and then we're going to move on. Chris.
Yeah, and Steve, I want to thank our teams for helping us. This is a lot of work. This is an ambitious production, right? 12 different people, 3 minutes each, multiple rounds, people are voting. So it's a lot of work, and there may be a tech hiccup here or there, but we have a great team. They're monitoring the chat. They're getting all the speakers on and off behind the scenes. So we actually expect it to go fairly smoothly, even though it took a lot of work to try to get that to happen. Well, Steve, I think we should get into it, my man. Are we ready for round 1?
I think we are. Let's not delay any longer. Oh, and one last housekeeping item here. There's different ways to view the webinar. We're going to share the screen and stop sharing the screen, which will change your view a little bit if you're on a laptop or a desktop. But there is a gallery view and a presenter view, and you're going to be able to find that button in the upper right-hand side. You can swap out those views so you can see more people, or you can just see the presenter who is speaking at that point in time. So let's kick this off. Who do we have first? Chris Smith, why don't you do Jay's introduction?
Yeah, I'm going to introduce my man, Jay Kinder. For a long time, they were known as Kinder Reese, him and Michael, but his company is NAEA, the National Association of Expert Advisors. They're an Inc. 5000 fastest growing company. You can see they've been interviewed with Donald Trump Jr. They're hanging out with Barbara Corcoran. The thing I love about Jay is I know he's committed to learning himself. I feel like a lot of the best coaches have a coach. And I see Jay at the HubSpot event. I see Jay going to the, masterminds in Montana with the internet marketers. So I know he's addicted to learning. I know he's become a big evangelist for eXp Realty recently. So without further ado, let's give him 3 minutes, Steve. Make sure you set the timer. Let's hear a 3-minute pitch. You got something else, Steve? Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Chris. One last thing. And sorry, Jay, it's like freezing the kicker. One last thing. We want to do a quick poll question because we want to know the people that are on this webinar. Do you have a coach? Who your coach is? Jason, if you could pop up that poll question for us, and then I promise, Jay, we won't freeze you anymore.
We wanted to know, are you already using a coach now, or are you considering hiring a coach? We listed all the contestants today, plus all of the other popular coaches, like I mentioned, that we did reach out to. And so we just wanted to know, are you already using a coach? If so, who is that going to be? Please answer that question quickly, and then we'll get it over to Jay. What do we got? 5 seconds, Steve? 10 seconds to get their answer in?
Jason, why don't you let us know, because as usual, my computer is twirling there, so I can't tell if
we're at about 50% right now have voted. So We'll give everybody just a few more seconds. We got a lot of people on the webinar, so it might just be taking a few minutes to get everything dialed in there. So
sure. Cool. Yeah. And I am interested. Are we going to reveal the answer, Steve, here? Or are we collecting these internally and we'll share it later?
I don't know. What should we do, Chris?
I think we should share it. I think we share it right now. Oh my God. We don't have to, but we could.
All right. We're at about 60% have voted, so we can go ahead and close it down if we'd like.
Yep. Let's close the poll. And it'll be interesting to see who showed up today. Steve, if you want to keep that in-house and then we can announce that later, or we could share that.
Yeah, let's do that. I'm not trying to embarrass anyone.
But here's what we'll say. I will tell you guys, just so you know, the results. Well over half of the audience does not have a coach or is evaluating having a coach.
I love it.
Where we're at. Well over, probably about 70% of the audience is currently not engaged with a coach. So there's your opportunity, guys.
You know what's funny when I hear that, Jason, is I can tell you that 100% of world champions have a coach. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I get it. A lot of people try to do it on their own, and maybe they've got a decent broker, but let's get into this.
Let's do it.
My man from NAEA, Jay Kinder, is a great guy. He's always on the bleeding edge of technology, strategies, marketing. Jay Kinder, Steve, get your timer ready. Jay Kinder, my man, give us a 3-minute pitch. Let's go, baby.
You got it. First of all, thanks for having me on. I want you to write this down. Money moves through difference, not similarity. And anybody who thought I was going to get on here and do a 3-minute sales pitch like everybody else was dead wrong. I'm not going to pitch. You know why? Because average agents pitch. Experts attract. What I'm going to tell you in the next 3 minutes is going to resonate with you. And when it does, I want you to vote for me. That's all I ask for. My name's Jay Kinder. I've been in the real estate industry for 20 years. About 10 years ago, a good buddy of mine found me at the lake. I was on a 35-foot fountain. I was selling a lot of real estate. A lot of you would probably say I was successful at that time, selling 531 homes a year. A buddy of mine asked me, "What do you do, man? Is this your dad's boat?" I said, "No, actually, it's my boat." He quits his job, gets into real estate, calls me every 15 minutes of every day for the next 6 months, asking me, should I do this? Should I do that? Should I do this? Should I do that? I did not know what he was doing, but what he was teaching me was how to reverse engineer what I had done to be successful. I never would have paid attention to what worked and what didn't work had he not been asking me all those questions. So I was fortunate enough. Michael and I were both fortunate enough. He actually got in the real estate business. He built his business in 3 years and half the time to over $1 million in gross commission income. It took me 6. We both learned something during that process. We said, wow, success is duplicatable. Have you heard that before? So we started to document the system, and we created a proven, repeatable system that's backed by market research and evidence that we've been able to do it for others and others and others and others. For instance, maybe you know Jeff Cook came to us doing 30 transactions. He did 1,067 transactions last year. Possibly you may know Brett Jennings doing around 30 transactions when he came to us. Now he does 150 million in Silicon Valley, average sale price $1 million. When you're using a documented system, reverse engineer where you're at to where you want to go, and you want a proven methodology for how to grow your business, that is how you recreate success in anyone's business. Either you have a coach that has a methodology and a system that's proven and repeatable, to help you exponentially grow your business, or you're just winging it. And that's what we've done to be different. We're going to help you position yourself as the expert in the marketplace, attract business, not chase the business, but be positioned to be the number one agent in your marketplace. That's what we do at NAEA, and that's how we've done it.
Boom.
Boom. Nice one right off the bat.
I love it, Jay. Well, let me say a couple things about that pitch, because I'm taking notes here about the stuff that I love. And I'm already a big fan of everybody on the call today. So I don't want to, over and over say I like these people. This is not show friend. This is show business. And what I love about what Jay did, number one, stories, in my opinion, win when you're selling.
Yep.
And what you made me think about there, Jay, is I don't know what kind of boat that was that you mentioned, but the people that want to be like you do, right? So that kind of insider, like, I've never been on a 35-foot boat, dude. It sounds amazing, but you dropped the name of the boat.
Right.
And somebody listening, they heard that the way somebody would hear Lamborghini. I love that you dropped that. The other thing I like that you – say it again?
Most of my clients have boats.
Boom. You know what I mean? And the other thing I liked what you did is you said, we make the best better. You're going after the big dogs and trying to make them bigger. I'm a fan of that. That's what we do at Curaytor. And so I like that you know who you're after. You're not out there saying, hey, if you've never sold a home, we'll help you sell one, and then 10, and then 100. You're saying if you sold 100, we'll get you to 1,000. So I love that. The last thing is you're talking about winging it. You didn't wing it. You kind of winged it. But the reason it's dangerous to wing it in your business, if you want to know why winging it can hurt you, just look at Pete Carroll and how he winged it at the end of the Super Bowl. He decided not to stick to the system and hand it to beast mode. He decided to wing it and call a pass. And they literally lost the Super Bowl because he didn't stick to his system in his approach. So great stuff, Jay. If people want to learn more from Jay, we're going to vote here in a few minutes, but you can go to naea.com. You can also find Jay on Facebook. Steve, who's up next?
All right. Up next, Michael Hellicksen. And I think you're going to do this intro too, Chris.
Yeah, I'm going to introduce Michael. Michael and I have met a few times on the road speaking, and I think a lot of people on the call maybe are not familiar with Michael. His company is Club Wealth. And the way that I vet people is I have clients that pay me thousands of dollars a month. So when they pay me a couple thousand a month and they have a coach they pay and they love both, then I listen. So I was actually introduced to Michael and his program through some of our great Curaytor clients that were raving about his coaching. And I know Michael, kind of like Jay, he knows who he's after. He knows what he's good at, and I'm pumped to hear his pitch. So Michael, welcome to PitchFest. Give us 3 minutes on Club Wealth.
I love it. Well, thank you, first of all, for having me on. I got to tell you, if there's one thing you guys get out of today, if there's only one thing in this world that I could ever share with you, it's this. Write this down. No success in the world can compensate for failure in the home. I'm going to say that again. No success in the world can compensate for failure in the home. See, when I ran my business, I was literally we had the number one team in the country. So literally we were closing well over 100 transactions a month. At one point in time, we had over 750 listings, more than any agent on this planet ever. And I say that, but I'm not bragging about that. I'm just telling you that it's possible to accomplish that while working just 12 days a month. Too often in this business, you're letting your business run you instead of you running your business. So the other problem that we have in this industry, particularly with coaches, is you've got all these people that want to give you their advice that have never even sold real estate before. Think about this. If you want to climb Mount Everest, you need a guide that's been to the top of Mount Everest before. We're very clear with people that our job is building teams so that we can help you build your life. So what we do is we literally have grown the top teams in the country. We've taken people like Cherie Benjamin and Misty Bruton, both of whom started off with us at literally just themselves and no assistant. And within 12 months, they had over 25 people on their team doing over 250 transactions a year in their first year. The numbers don't lie, you guys, and it's possible to accomplish these numbers when you have a one-on-one coach, not video training, not all this online training stuff, which is great, and that's a great important component. But you've got to have a one-on-one coach who will literally get on the phone with you as often as necessary. You can call them at any time and they will reach out to you and they'll get on the phone with you and talk about exactly what do you need to do next in your business, not what's the cookie cutter method they share with everybody, but what is specifically going to help you in your business right now today. Where are the holes? How do we plug them? What do I need to do next? And when I talk about what do I need to do next, I want you to take it to a granular level. Our coaches will literally tell you not, hey, go hire an assistant. They'll say, hey, when you hire an assistant, here's the ads you run. Here's where you run the ads. Here's the questions you ask in the group interview. Here's the questions for the one-on-one interview. Here's the contract you use when you hire your assistant. Here's their job description when you're on board. Oh, and here's a video and a checklist on exactly how to do this. And by the way, we'll even interview the last couple of people for you if you need help vetting those last couple of clients or those last couple of assistants. So again, you've got to have a coach who's done more business than you have, and every single one of our coaches produces real estate at a higher level than the people they're coached. We're the only company on the planet that can say that. And we're also the #1 coaching company in the team space by a factor of about 6. So that being said, reach out to us, clubwealth.com/strategy session. We'd love to do a free 55-minute coaching call with you. No pitch. Literally just a coaching call to show you this is what you need to do in the next 12 months to take your business to the next level.
Boom. There we go. Was that the timer, Steve?
That
Cool.
was a timer. Let me take this one, Chris, because there's 2 things I want to address with this pitch in a slightly different way, because that was really good, Michael. But there was 2 things that stood out to me that I think the audience can actually learn from in their pitches too. And the first one was right off the bat, when you told everyone to write this down. Mm-hmm. Even if an agent is sitting down at a listing presentation, when an agent tells that the homeowners to write this down, if that homeowner sits there and writes it down, they're already listening to the agent. They're already doing what you were telling them to do, and that's just step 1. That is a brilliant move right off the bat in any pitch, because they're following you right out of the gate. The other thing that I really liked about the pitch is the unique. You are unique. Everyone wants to feel special. We're all special little flowers in our own little way, and everyone's special. And you really honed in on the uniqueness of the person that would be interested in your coaching. So I know we got to go quick through this, Chris, but those were 2 things that really stood out to me. Anything else you want to say before we move to the next one?
No, my only, if I were to give any advice on that, Mike, it would, and I know it's hard because 3 minutes, my only advice would have been pace. You know, you definitely were going fast. And I think that's a common thing. When you only get to do an elevator pitch, you speed up. And sometimes the more you say, the less I hear, just because you're trying to put so much in there. So that would have been, if there was any critique, I love the gain control statement, write this down. What you asked me to write down was pretty long. So it was hard for me to actually remember it. But I do totally understand in this environment with that 3-minute timer, you know, you're going super fast. That would be, if there was one critique, it would be slow down. And I'm sure you would if you had more time. So good stuff. Thanks for hopping on. Who's up next, Steve? Jared James. And by the way, real quick, Steve, when we talked about doing this event, this is why I wanted to do it. Because even if you've heard Jay's pitch or you've heard Michael's pitch or you've heard Jared's, you've never heard them back to back to back.
No.
You know, and that's what makes it incredibly difficult to figure out, like, which coach do I want? And so hopefully the industry's loving this. If you guys are enjoying it, let us know in the chat. Let us know on social media. #PitchFest. So who's up next, Steve? Jared James.
Yeah, so we have Jared James. I've known Jared for a very long time. We presented together. Very good guy, amazing presenter and speaker. So I'm excited to hear him present right now. We have 3 minutes on the board, and I know we need to speed up the pace a little bit here, so I want to stick to our timing. Jared's going to do an amazing job of promoting him
fast.
Yeah. So no big introduction for Mr. Jared James. Jared, why don't you take this away, my man?
Guys, it feels weird even to pitch coaching, just because coaching's something you have to want, you have to value in order for it to work. I like to tell people that if you don't buy in, it doesn't pay out, right? I was telling an audience recently that if you have a steak in front of you and you're starving, it doesn't matter. It's not going to fulfill your hunger. You ultimately have to eat the steak, right? You got to execute. And coaching's no different, right? I think what really separates me from a lot of people is I really know this business. I grew up in the industry. I was my mother's unpaid assistant for many years. And one of the things that I learned from the decades that I've been in this industry is that I think that agents and brokers go to hours and hours of real estate classes that teach us how to pass a test, but not how to run a business. We're basically taught how to be attorneys, and then we're told don't discuss anything legal because you'll get sued, right? And what I know is that once you get in, you're either going to run a business or you're going to run around. And many of the people listening know what I'm talking about. Like, you're going to do one or the other. And I think personality matters. I think that NAR came out with a stat recently and said that 89% of all buyers and sellers at the time of closing said that they would use their agent again next time they purchase. And yet only 11% actually do. So why is that? I think as an industry, we've been trying to tear personality away, and yet I think it matters. I think that we're telling people don't put up pictures on Instagram and Facebook where you're holding a glass of wine because someone might see it. And my thing is like, do you work with moms? Because they drink wine. They drink a lot of it, right? And so ultimately, perfection's not the goal. Connection is the goal. Like, we're trying to connect with people, and people don't connect with perfect people. Great marketing doesn't just attract the right people, it repels the wrong ones. And when you help somebody run a business in that way, where they have that great marketing that's not just attracting the right people, but repelling the wrong ones, they don't have those people they can't stand anymore, right? And so that leads me to my core belief, what our whole coaching is built around, which is the idea that you marry the principle, you date the model. You marry the principle, you date the model. And what that means is in the old days when I was helping my mother grow her business, and we used to call the phone book, back when the phone book used to be used for more than propping up a kid at a table, we used to call and say, hey, I've got buyers in your area. Do you know anybody looking to sell? And the principle that we were married to there was the idea that we want to get our services in front of somebody who needs them at the time they need them before somebody else gets there, right? And so that principle still remains. We marry the principle, we date the model. But the model of calling the phone book, the strategy has changed. Now we have direct targeted marketing. We have social targeting. We have so many different ways to prospect, right? And yet most people are still running their businesses like 90210 is a hit show, like it's the mid-90s. And yet it's just not. I mean, people are acting as marketers differently than they're behaving as consumers. And so what we really do differently than a lot of companies is we help agents and brokers run businesses that are aligned with how they themselves and their consumers are actually behaving. We help them run businesses that are built for 2018 and beyond. And we know this is working because just last month we polled our students. We found in the last 12 months, our average student, their transactions increased by 43%. Their sales volume increased by 69%. And so what I'm hoping as a result of me being on here with so many of you today is that we get the chance to work with a lot of you and be a part of your next success story, because it's a new world and we want to show you how that works. You marry the principle, you date the model.
Good stuff, Jared. I love it. Nice job. Good timing. Steve, I'll take the follow-up here.
Yep.
And I love the pace. One of the things you said there, Jared, that I love, because I know a little bit about your career, and I know you were 30 under 30. And I know you sold a lot of homes, and I hear a lot of the coaches lean into that, right? We heard Jay say it. We heard Mike say it. I do think that is certainly a differentiator for coaches. Like, hey, you know that guy that you think is great? He ain't did this in a long, long time, and I have. But I actually thought, you saying that you were your mother's unpaid assistant for a long time, to me, that's actually more powerful than I sold a lot of homes. So I like that. The other thing is, you, at the end there, you did something that every salesperson should do. You built trust through statistics, right? You basically knew your numbers. And I think ultimately people want coaching, but they really want what happens for their business because they got coaching.
Right.
And so to be able to say, this is the percent that increased transactions. This is that is really ultimately what they want. They don't want the coaching. They want the results. And I think the stats are a good way to convey that. Steve, who's next, my man?
Thanks, man. Appreciate that.
Yeah, that was great. Now remember, guys, we have one more presenter left for coaches, and then you guys are going to vote, and you're going to type in some of the objections or questions, because this round's a little bit different, that you have for the coaches. Now, unfortunately, fortunately, Lee Brown could not make this first segment, but she still wanted to participate. And so she recorded her 3-minute pitch. We decided to allow her to do that. So I'm going to play her 3-minute video recording. It's all one take. She just sent it right over. And if she makes it, if you guys vote her into the next round, because there's only 2 coaches going into the next round, she will be here live for the next round. So she will be here if you do vote her. So hopefully this actually works. I've been getting the spinning wheel of death the entire time on my Mac since this webinar started. So hopefully it holds on. That would be fantastic. So Lee Brown, amazing real estate agent. She's got a huge personality. If you haven't seen her before, she has presented all over the country. She has just amazing passion. And I think you guys are going to like her pitch that hopefully comes through just fine on your end. Let's take a listen.
Hey, I'm Lee Brown. I am a broker owner in Concord and Charlotte, North Carolina. You've probably seen me on Facebook Live or on a YouTube video, or maybe at your brand or association or brokerage speaking and teaching, which I love to do. I've been a realtor for 18 years and one of the top agents in the Charlotte, North Carolina market. In fact, my team was number 17 last year out of 10,000 members of the MLS. So that's pretty solid. We're excited about that. And that's why I love coaching. I love sharing every single thing that my team and I do to be successful, no matter what the market conditions are, because obviously I've been in the market in good times and in awful, awful rough times, and now in very weird times when the rest of the economy is strong, but realtors are a little bit challenged because we don't have anything to sell in many areas. So I'll tell you what we're doing. I'm going to give you a kick in the pants if you need it, a very straight and direct, honest opinion on what you're doing, and help you craft solutions, because frankly, you probably know them, you just don't have it articulated. I'm great at wordsmithing. I'll help you with that. What you should know about my coaching is it's not like any other coaching you'll find out there. This is not a program. There's no template. There's no anything like anybody else gets. It is highly personalized, highly customized to what you need, which is why I only coach a la carte, by the hour or by the 25 minutes, because currently I charge $250 for 25 minutes if you just need a quick hit, a quick couple of answers or a sounding board, or $500 for 60 minutes. That's like getting 10 minutes for free. What? And when you need an hour, you book an hour. I'm not doing anything that signs you up for long-term contracts, because frankly, I'm a realtor. I know how y'all operate. We all have ADD and amnesia. And then we get all the great ideas and we write them down on our awesome little pads of paper, and then we get distracted by a phone call or an email or a Facebook message. And so my job is to help you pick out the couple of things that will change your business and make you happier, and actually fix our entire profession where we have some serious issues with professionalism and with the value proposition. So you'll want to sign up. If you want to know more about me, you can look at a zillion different videos online, but I only have room for a few more coaching clients. It only can work if you are an implementer. If you're the person who says, give me something and I got it done, I'm the coach you want. If your feelings get hurt easily, please don't call me. But I would love nothing more than to help your real estate business look different. So again, I'm Lee Brown. Give me a shout and I'll do anything I can to help make you better.
Cool. Steve, that was good. We're going to get into the voting in a second. And I think that was certainly fair for Lee to submit that. We definitely appreciate her doing that versus backing out. You know what I mean? Or versus, you know what I'm saying? Like, so, but what I wanted to get into, I am going to give a couple critiques because she's not here. Because if she was here, I'd be afraid to critique her. But a couple little things I heard in Lee's pitch. Two things she did that no one else did is she actually went into the price. And it's an interesting thing because we want you guys to say what you charge. But what happens is when you're giving a good pitch and you're going through the stuff, Steve, the price almost goes out the window if you're really listening intently. So we had like 3 people in a row pitch, not mention the price, and we didn't even catch it until she mentioned the price. Yep. So props to her for mentioning the price. The other thing is what she said at the end I loved. I've only got room for a couple more people. Scarcity. That's called scarcity. And that is so important, but I would have done one more thing than that. I would have done what I call reduce it to the ridiculous. If you've only got room for 4 more people, say 4 more people. Don't say a few more people, because there's 2,200 people watching. And if there's 3 freaking spots, you're selling it out. So just be specific about that few spots. Make it real. Make it 11. Make it fucking 16. You know what I mean? Make it a real number. So I love that. And then the other little thing I would maybe have done different is I would have basically, like, when I'm looking to hire a coach, for whatever reason, her being number 17 in her area didn't feel real powerful for me. So if she's number 1 in a certain zip code, or number 1 in her office, or if she's number 1 at a certain price point, Steve, that to me would have played a little better. If I'm looking for a coach and they're number 17, that may have been something that I would have kind of picked up on as a prospect. But props to Lee. And how's it go now, Steve? Is the crowd going to vote?
Yeah. So, and one final thing, I like how she pushed people away as well. If you're easily offended, we're not for each other. You know, she was just direct. Good job, Simon Cowell. I mean, Chris. So now what we're going to do is you heard all 4 pitches.
Mm-hmm.
You heard the coaches. For this poll that Jason's going to bring up here in a moment, you can choose 1 or 2. You can choose 2. If you thought 2 people did a great job, you could choose them both. We're going to tally it up, and the 2 top coaches are going to go into the objection round. So, Jason, I can't see because, again, my computer's locked up here. So let me know when the poll's up.
The poll is live.
Cool. And we guys vote because this one's going to determine the finals. This one is the 2 people that make it are coming back on later to handle and overcome objections. And so we're going to vote. And Steve, we have to reveal this one as soon as it's over.
Yeah. And these are the people that you want to hear from, right? If you thought A, B, C, or D, I don't want to mention any names and skew anything, but if you thought A, B, C, or D won, those are the people you want to hear from. They're gonna probably reach out to you.
Well, and they're also going to get more time later, right? So they're going to handle objections. Like I've already got a couple objections I want to ask because sometimes you hear, like a lot of times you'll hear a coach say, we're the only ones that do it this way. But then you hear the next coach say they're the only one that does it that way. So it's an interesting dynamic. But yeah, I'm excited. How many people have voted, Jason? Let's get.
So we're at 60%. Would love to get 75% of the audience voted. A ton of votes are continuing to come in.
Is it close, Jason? Is it close?
We are close for second and third. We are close for second and third. We got a clear first place.
Okay.
So we're tight on second and third. We're at about 62%. If you're doing something else, come back to the screen. Give us your vote.
And also, Jason, is everybody set up for the next round? Do we have all 4 contestants? That's my question.
Yeah, I believe we got everybody on the line, and we'll be able to switch over web cameras and get everything.
Yeah, and while we finish up the poll, I want to apologize for the F-bomb. It's kind of a sorry, not sorry. I saw somebody in the chat there, Steve, and they said that that's not professional in business. And if you feel that way, I agree with you. But I'm running the 300 fastest growing business in the United States. And it's because I am who I am. Kind of like Lee. Hey, if you don't like it, probably won't want to reach out to me. So I apologize if I offended anybody. But at the same time, man, that being a human, like that's what this industry needs. They need less fakeness. You know, like Jared said, don't some of the moms drink a glass of wine? So anyway, how we at, Jason? Where are we at?
All right, we're at almost 70%. It's starting to slow down. So we will give 10 more seconds to vote.
Yep.
And we will close it down.
Yep.
Also, guys, so now what we want you to do too, while we're revealing the answers, go to the Q&A box. What objections and questions do you have for the 2 people, the 2 coaches that are going to move into the next round? Type it into the Q&A box, not the chat box. Let me say that again. Type it into the Q&A box. There's 2 places where you can type in information. Q&A box, add your questions in there, and those questions will be delivered to us, and we're going to ask them. We want this to be interactive. We want you guys to take part in this event.
All righty. We have shut it down and ready to share the results.
Oh, man. Here we go, Steve. Drum roll.
So just share the top 2, Jason. Just go top 2.
Well, we got it. It's up there. Uh-oh.
All right, top 2. Jared James, 70%. We got Jay coming in at second at 38%.
Wow. So congratulations to Jared James and Jay Kinder. We are going to bring them back in a little bit to handle objections and kind of face off with each other. But seriously, there's no losers at this event. Michael, Thank you. Lee, thanks for submitting. I thought everybody did a fabulous job. I would probably predict that everybody that'll pitch today is probably a little better than everybody attending today. But props to Mike and Lee. Thanks for participating. Jay and Jared, we'll get you guys back in a little bit.
What time should we hop back? What time?
Steve, do you know the time we're going to bring them back on?
How are we doing on time, Jason? It was 2:25, but are we late, Jason, or are we on time?
No, we're doing good. So we got to get through. We got buyers, and then we got sellers, and then we'll have the coaches coming back. Yeah.
We'll have Katie and Jason text you guys to make sure you're ready to roll.
I'll jump on a quarter after. I'll just jump back over and wait.
Cool. Sounds great.
Awesome. And I heard that Jay harms baby animals, just so everybody knows before we do. I feel like
we're already starting.
Jay, I'll see you in a little bit, man.
So, Steve, before we bring on the buyer's agents, I know that we are taking this opportunity today to let other people pitch.
Yeah.
And we're bringing on the agents and coaches. And by the way, there's very, very few vendors that would even do this to give 90 minutes to 2 hours to other people to pitch. But BombBomb and Curaytor, we are actually doing our pitches tomorrow. And we're doing a PitchFest only in-depth walkthrough of what we sell. So if you're interested in learning more about Curaytor or BombBomb, tomorrow at 11, we're going to do about a 30-minute walkthrough of our tools. Tomorrow at 1, Steve's going to do like a 20-minute walkthrough. And we would love you guys to go right now. We'll put the chat there. But basically, go to curaytor.com/pitch or bombbomb.com/pitch. And we're doing a pitch fest. What's that?
And you can go to both. That's why I did it.
Yeah, or both. Yeah, we'd love people to tune in at 11 to ours and tune in at 1 to Steve's. But ultimately, we're saving our pitch for tomorrow. We feel like that was the right thing to do. And that's how you can sign up to learn more. And we'll bring this up throughout the webinar a couple more times. But yeah, curaytor.com/pitch, bombbomb.com/pitch. You obviously can learn about what we do, and it'll be about a 20 or 30-minute walkthrough.
Yep, we wanted to value your time and keep it to the topic.
Yep.
So that's it. If you guys are interested, come join us tomorrow. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Cool. And up next is buyers, Steve, buyers agents.
Yeah, we do. So now we're kind of switching gears, right? The coaches were on there. They did a great job. They were pitching their services. But I know a lot of people on this webinar, they want to hear how top agents / teams around the country are pitching themselves to their buyer prospects and their seller prospects. And so first up here, we have
Steve,
Kyle.
Before you bring on Kyle, sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
Jimmy's used to that.
Yeah.
But I wanted to give away the first 2 prizes for the people that followed Curaytor. We're going to give away 2 prizes per transition. So the first 2 prizes are signed copies of my book where I can teach you how to pitch and do marketing. It's called The Conversion Code. Edward Slavis, could also be Edward S. Lavis, and Rebecca Martin. You are the first 2 winners. Edward S. Lavis or Edward Slavis and Rebecca Martin, you're getting a free signed copy of my book. We'll give you all the information on how to get that in the chat. And you can still enter to win right now. We're going to be giving away stuff at the next 2 breaks as well. But thank you guys, Edward, Rebecca, Steve. There's like thousands of people that followed us. There's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people that have actually already shared the link. There's hundreds that have already got the scripts. So thank you guys for playing along. Let's get into Kyle.
All right, Kyle's actually, quick note about Kyle. He is our #1 video influencer at BombBomb. So not only is he on PitchFest here, his video game is on point. So I'm not going to give him any more of an intro than that. I know we need to get through the pitches. So Kyle, are you on here with us? Hopefully.
Here we go.
Well, that's all right. We're quick movers. This isn't our first rodeo. We can go to someone else quickly.
Kyle, your audio is not coming through, sir. You want to go ahead and make sure the right microphone is selected.
We'll give Kyle a second here. If not, we'll go to someone else. We'll come back to Kyle to keep it moving. And again, I can't see.
You got audio, guys?
Yeah, we got audio. We're good.
Right.
Thanks, man.
All right,
you ready?
Kyle, kick it off, my man. Here we go.
All right, guys. Our goal at eXp Realty is to help you find the perfect home at the perfect price. The way that's going to start out is we're going to sit down and do a consultation with you. We want to learn everything about you and what your goals are so we can help you accomplish them. We're going to start by learning a little more about your current house, things you like and things you dislike. And we're going to talk about the future house. What are the needs? What are the wants in that home? We're also going to talk about the lifestyle that you want to live, because when you're buying a home, you're not just buying the 4 walls and what's inside it. You're buying the lifestyle that comes along with it. So we want to know, are schools important to you? Is walkability important to you? Things like that, so we make sure we put you into the right neighborhood. We're also going to walk you through the 10-step process that we built, because when you're buying a home, it's really important to know exactly where you're at and what's coming up next. And then we're going to get out there and we're going to search for homes for you. Now, a lot of times what you want might not be on the market. So it's our job to go out there and find it. A lot of agents are just going to sit around and wait for an email to come through telling them they got a match. We're going to go out there and find it for you. So we got a service where we can pull the names and phone numbers of everybody in the target area that you're searching in. We're going to call them. We're going to text them. We're going to email them. And we're going to strap on our tennis shoes and we're going to get out there and knock some doors and find that perfect home for you. When we're going out and we're showing you properties, we're not just going to give you a little printout that tells you how many bedrooms and bathrooms and the square footage of these homes. We're going to tell you what's the commute time for you to get to work. We're going to tell you what are the schools that your kids are going to be going to and what are the ratings for those schools. And we're going to tell you about the different restaurants and things to do in that neighborhood. Then when we find that home, it's time to offer. If negotiating was a fire, most agents run away from it. I run right into that fire. Negotiating is my favorite part of this thing because, like I said, our goal is not just to find you the perfect home, but to get it at the perfect price. So I love that negotiation. I thrive on that. What we're going to do to make your offer stand out from the crowd is not just put a letter with your offer. We're going to actually shoot a video. You're going to stand in front of the home, tell the seller everything about yourself and what you love about their home so we can make sure that your offer is going to stand out from the crowd. Once that seller accepts your offer, we're going to sit down, grab a coffee, grab a beer, and we're going to walk through that 10-step process again because I really want to make sure you know exactly where you're at and what's coming up next. Then some things are going to happen during the escrow, and inspection is going to get done, and appraisal is going to get done, and then it opens up a renegotiation. This is another opportunity for us to go in there and negotiate that deal down and even get you a better price on that home because at the end of the day, it's all about at home and the investment for you. Lastly, when this thing closes, we're going to provide you guys a moving truck that you can use to save some money on the move, make it a little bit easier for you. And then we're going to throw you a huge party. We're going to invite your friends, we're going to invite your family, and we're going to invite all of your new neighbors to celebrate you buying the perfect home at the perfect price.
Boom. Nice. 22 seconds to spare. That was on point and concise. I thought that was pretty good. How about you, Chris?
I loved it. I think what that shows is like there's a reason the top agents are the top agents. They've done it. They have experience. They've said these words before.
Yeah.
And so the confidence comes through. I loved it. Like when you were giving your pitch, Kyle, I was able to break it down into buckets. So your whole first part was like beyond the four walls. Your whole second part was proactive versus reactive, right? The one thing I would say is that when everything sounds great, it's hard to figure out what is that one killer feature. Like I know for my agent personally, him suggesting that I offered more than asking price on day one of a short sale, I don't care what else he did. I would have never done that without trusting him and getting that advice. I was like any other buyer, like I ain't offering full price. It just got on the market today. So I would just say that my only critique would be of all the awesome stuff you just said, what is the one that at the end of the day might matter a little bit more? Or can you surmise everything into sort of, here's what all that actually means to you? But other than that, dude, I freaking loved it.
Yeah, and one other thing, the feeling that I got from that, you know, a common objection, as I'm sure everyone on this webinar knows, is like, why do I need a realtor? You know, I can do this myself. And the feeling I got from that whole pitch was, holy
can't do it.
I can't, yeah. I'm not doing all that. Like I was just bought in because of all the steps and you explain the entire life cycle from the beginning to the end. That was my favorite part. And pitches are all about feelings, right? People buy off emotions.
Yeah.
And so that was my favorite part of the whole pitch.
Well, that was exactly my feedback, Steve. He had my head spinning.
Yeah.
So I think that would have been the way to finish it up is like, but I'm guessing at this point your head's already spinning and that's really what we're here for.
Yeah, that was great. Thank you.
Good job,
Thank
Kyle.
you.
Great stuff. Awesome. Well, up next, I'll introduce Veronica, Steve. I know her very well. She actually lives in the same area as we live here in Curaytor. She is a national speaker. She gets featured by Zillow all the time. She's a local celebrity here in our town. She's passionate. I'm just a huge fan of her work, her husband's work, her mission statement, her purpose. So let's hear for 3 minutes from Veronica Figueroa, PitchFest.
Hi, guys. My name is Veronica Figueroa. I'm with the Figueroa team, and I want to thank you for choosing to do business with us. We totally understand that you have choices. You can navigate through this journey by yourself, or you can choose to work with a local expert. It's no surprise that we've serviced over 1,000 families, but it really doesn't matter about what we've done. It's about you. I want to talk to you about the 4 components that we work with on every single client that we speak with. Ford. Remember those 4-letter words, F-O-R-D. Family. What's important to your family? What's important for your occupation, your recreations, and your dreams? My purpose on our team is very simple. If we can help you accomplish your dreams, we've done a good job. It's no accident. We've actually received over 600 reviews, but it really is just because we focus on 4. After we focus on those 4 components, that's when we move into the fun stuff. The list, the location, the price, what you want to pay, how soon you want to be in a home with your magic wand. All those things are fun. And listen, it's no surprise. There's a lot of great agents out there. So the fact that you chose to work with us, we're ready to go to work. So what's going to happen next is we're going to go over all those details and make sure that we position you to find the perfect home. But what about what can go wrong? Those are the things that set us apart. We talk to our clients about the good, the bad, the ugly, the horror stories that can happen, the things that we do to prevent them from happening, the arsenal that we have built over the years of working with the best attorneys, agents, our network of affiliate agents who aren't even in our office, that we can pick up the phone and make sure that you win in the multiple offer situation. Our agents are specialists for a reason, because we are in depth into this process for you, not because of us, but because of you. Thank you again for choosing to work with us, and we look forward to getting started today.
Ooh.
Wow. Steve, now you know why I invited Veronica, my man.
Yeah, that was nice. She did something unique there with not just painting a pretty picture and how everything is going to be awesome, but what can go wrong, and that's what they're special. Yeah, things go wrong. Chances are that person's been through a transaction that went wrong, and so it's meeting those objections before they even bring it up and just squashing the fears that potential buyer might have. That was great.
Yeah, I loved it. I loved the Ford acronym. I love how out of the gates, because here's what it is. Kyle was explaining what they do for you, right? But when Veronica articulated it, I just really heard that word you. Like, this isn't about us. This is about you. And FORD is about you. It's not really about what we do. And then her kind of follow-up was about what they do. And I picked up on what you did, Steve. I always tell my team here at Curaytor, this isn't the Lego movie. Everything isn't always awesome. And if you just kind of portray that everything is awesome, you're lying. You're fake. So I love that she leaned into the fact that problems happen.
Yeah. And
when they do, we know how to handle them. To me, that just builds so much trust.
Yep. Awesome. And again, this is amazing that agents are getting on here. There's no real value for them to get on here and pitch. It's only to help the audience. And it's fantastic that people like Kyle and Veronica are hopping on the webinar, and my man, Steve Volker's up next here, hopping on the webinar and just providing some knowledge and insight for everyone. It's great.
Cool. Well, let's pass it to Steve. I had a great call with him yesterday. I'm excited to hear his pitch. Steve, you've got 3 minutes. Let's hear your pitch, my man.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Hey, Chris and Steve, thanks for connecting. It was great to talk to you on the phone and hear all about why you're moving to Grand Rapids. I love our town. And what I heard through that conversation was that you were trying to determine the best fit for you as a real estate agent. So hope that you would just give me a minute or two to talk through what makes me different from all the others. Our goal really in partnering together in finding the right house for you in Grand Rapids is that I hopefully can take that success train for you, help you get over those humps and have less problems and less issues, so at the end of the transaction you say, it was better working with Steve than someone else or trying to do this on my own. There's really 3 things that we do, right, in finding the house. It's finding a house, it's negotiating the offer, and then ultimately getting you those keys, right? Finding the house is fun. Like, we're going to have a blast coming around Grand Rapids, and I'm so excited that you guys are coming. And you already gave me what you wanted in a house, and I actually have a couple in mind. So I'm going to shoot you an email after we get done with this conversation on those houses that I have in mind from conversations that I'm having with agents in the field. But we're going to do a tour of Grand Rapids, check out the areas, get you familiar with the neighborhoods, so then I know exactly what you're looking for, so I can be on the hunt for you today, communicating with all the people around me. So that's number 1. We're going to find you that house. Number 2 is negotiating the offer. We have less than a month of inventory in Grand Rapids. You've heard all the stories. We're number 1 in this and number 2 on that study, which is why you're moving into town. What we'd like to do is just negotiate on your behalf. What you're going to find with my 10 years of experience is that agents generally respect when an offer comes through with me. And I really am excited about getting your offer to them, communicating with them the power that you have in purchasing, so that when there's 5 offers or 15 offers, you're one of the ones on the top. Number 3 is getting to closing, right? We know that that's when you get the keys. That's the most important to me and should be the most important to you. We can get you on House Hunters or all those kind of fun shows if you want to do the house search over and over again. But my goal is to get you the keys, right? And getting the keys, we're gonna be able to get you into the house as soon as possible. That negotiation equals then negotiations through the contract and getting you to close. Close can be difficult. We use a transaction coordinator that will communicate with you on a regular basis. You're always going to have my phone as well, texting you anything that's happening. So I look forward to helping you through that process. So you said you were coming into town next week, which I really appreciate. Would Wednesday or Friday work for you to take that tour of the city and then ultimately get you into some neighborhoods and those houses that I'm going to email you right after this?
Boom.
Nice. 14 seconds left. Great timing. Hey, Chris, before we do like a quick evaluation, if we're going to get through this webinar in anywhere near the allotted time, I think maybe we save these to the questions and objections round, because we still have a lot of information to get through. Or just make sure they're super quick.
Yeah, I'll be quick with it.
Okay.
I think the audience is liking the additional context, but what I think Steve did a great job there is my overall vibe is his tone, Steve, is great. Like, tone is so important when you're selling. And I wrote this down, like, Steve has a wouldn't harm a fly tone, you know? And like a lot of real estate agents, like, you look how they're portrayed in the media, like Buddy King from American Beauty. They always feel like they're this slick talking, better than you, 3-piece suit guy. And I just love how relatable Steve was. Yeah. And I also liked how he said keys are better than showings. Showings are fun, not after about the 5th or 6th one. You know what's really fun? Getting the keys. I love that. Yeah. Let's keep it moving, Steve.
All right. Next up, make sure I can get the next up here. We have, oh no.
We got CC, Steve. I know who we got.
It's CC, but it's locked. My computer is dying as it's trying to keep up with the 2,500 people on this webinar, I think. So hopefully, CC, please don't be offended. I can't switch the screen, and hopefully it switches while you're doing your pitch here.
Yeah, I'll introduce CC. CC is a Curaytor client. A lot of the people obviously on the calls today are either Curaytor clients or they use BombBomb, and that's why we knew them and knew they would do a great job. But CC runs a very successful team in Jacksonville. She really knows what she's doing. She's a very driven entrepreneur who loves work-life balance. CC, let's hear your buyer's pitch.
So, hey, Chris. I don't want to sell you on why you should work with our team.
Got it there. I got the slide up. Do you see the slide at least?
Steve, we're good. We got our slide and our audio.
Oh, can you hear me?
CC. Yeah, we'll let you take it from the top.
All right.
Oh.
Chris, I don't want to sell you on why you should work with us. I want you to want to work with us. So initially, I have a question for you. When you're looking to buy a home, what's the number one thing you're looking for your realtor to do for you and to help you with?
Negotiating.
Well, that's a fantastic answer. You know what I hear the number one answer from the buyers that choose us is, Chris, is they want our help to find the home. They're not looking for a glorified door opener. They're not looking for a part-timer. They're not looking for someone to pick up the phone or Pop-Tart on over on a showing because they know nothing about them. They're looking for a realtor that understands their needs, their wants, the type of family they have, and what's going to be the best lifestyle for them. So what we're seeing, you have over 8,000 agents to choose in Jacksonville. The reason why so many of our buyers choose us is because we're full-time. You've got to jump. Whenever we have homes right now, they're seeing 6 to 10 offers on properties. They're going under contract within several hours. You need an agent that's going to jump. Are you looking for an agent that wants to email you back? They're going to email you, call you, text you back at any time. They're going to let you know what's going on in the process. And even before, hey, we're going to tell you what's going to happen next. Because in this market, you never know what's going to come up. Your lender, your title, your inspectors, so many things that can come up. And I know that having someone by your side through it all from beginning to end is really going to benefit you. We have our agents, when inspections come back, we're out there, we're going to Home Depot, we've put lattice up, we've taken pictures, and you know what? Just this morning, I was at a home meeting an inspector the day of closing, waking up early. We are there for you. And right now, going back to these offers, it is the Wild West. I'm sure you've heard it's a seller's market. So with 6 to 10 offers, Chris, how many offers do you intend to make before you get one?
I would love to go 1 for 1.
Great. You're like a lot of our buyers then, because 85% of the time, our offers are being accepted on the first time because of our relationships, because our negotiating skills. We are going to win you the home. So Chris, my last question for you is, do you want us to help you find your home?
Good close, Cece. I like that. All right, Steve, I don't know. Dude, I hope we didn't lose Steve. I don't know if anybody will keep watching if it's just me. Steve, are you back?
Chris, I'm working with Steve. Are you on?
I'm here. You probably can't. I couldn't hear anything she said, though. That's the only unfortunate part.
So you can hear me, but not her?
Yep, I can hear you. So.
All right, well, we heard her clearly, and I think the audience did as well. So just really quickly, Steve, since you didn't hear it, I'll recap it quickly. But, I loved her opening. I don't want to sell you. I want you to want me. I'm not here to sell you. I'm here to figure out if we should work together. The other thing, and this is something that I think is big for buyers. Yes, I can find the home online. Yes, I can go to Zillow. Yes, I can get MLS alerts. But you're the one making the commission. Shouldn't you find it? So yes, I can find it, but I think you should. So I totally love that. The other thing she basically hit on, Steve, is that communication is king. You hear a lot about it. Marketing content is king. I think at the end of the day, crystal clear communication, when and how you need it, is probably more important than the fact that CC has a good blog as well. So good job. I love that. I love your stat at the end. 85% of our first offers get accepted. I would have probably compared that to the MLS average, so I had a little more context. But good stuff.
Awesome. So that's the end, if you can hear me, Chris, of the buyers round here. And we are going to vote, but everyone still goes to the next round in this particular case.
Yeah. Are we going right into round 2, Steve, or are we saving it? I can't remember.
Yeah, we're going to go right in and do objections right off the bat for the buyers before we get to the sellers, and then let everyone know.
Okay. So we'll do the objections before we vote, correct?
Yeah. So no, we're going to vote right now, and then we're going to vote again.
Okay, cool. So basically, let's bring the poll up. We want to know, do you guys think Veronica, Steve, Cece, or Kyle had the best pitch? And then we're going to give them an objection or two here in a second, and then you're going to vote again on how they handled those. And we're basically going to take the number 1 vote getter from both votes, and they're going to be the buyer's agent PitchFest winner. Now, we didn't even tell the agents this on the call because they're all very successful and they didn't do this for money, but we are going to sweeten the pot here, Steve. the buyer's agent and the seller's agent that wins PitchFest today, we're going to give them a $500 Amazon card as a thank you. And we're also giving all the agents that pitched today a $100 Amazon gift card as a thank you. And
just a little something.
Yeah,
we figured we had to do something.
Symbolic gesture, but I know I would love a $500 Amazon card.
All right, guys. So we're at about 50% have voted. Love to
Okay.
get to the 75%, so we'll give people a little bit more time.
Yeah, Steve, pull up the webinar slide for me one time if you could. If you still have control there.
Hopefully you can see that.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's go to the webinar slide really quick. Or the live chat slide, either one. And I think we're at 50% votes. We're going to get to 70. But just a reminder, if you want to learn more about Curaytor and BombBomb, we have a 30-minute walkthrough tomorrow. There's a PitchFest promo that we're not even willing to say on the air. We're giving one of the best discounts we've ever given at both companies to the people that attend tomorrow. There's no way to find out about the webinars we're doing tomorrow unless you're on today. And just as a quick pitch while we tally this, BombBomb makes humanizing yourself easy through video email. And Curaytor, we're a full-service marketing company. We can do your Facebook ads, blogging, email marketing, all of your content marketing for you if you don't have time and if you have a budget. So if you're interested in a marketing company to help you or a great video email tool, that's what we'll be walking through tomorrow. Steve, let's see. Are we going to show this so that they know where they're at?
Yeah.
So we're close here. And we need people to continue to vote because oddly enough, there is a tie, a spread.
No way.
4 votes. 4 votes, ladies and gentlemen, right now. Between our leading 2 candidates, we're only at 63% voted. So if you're doing something else, come back, make your voice heard. Which buyer's agent pitch resonated with you the most? And it is still neck and neck as more and more votes come in. We'll give it a few more seconds here. It's been up for about 3 minutes, so you should have had a chance to give your vote.
Cool. Let's see it. Let's see it, Jason.
Yeah, let's just go because we're running.
All right, so we're going to go ahead and end the poll. And right now, I'm going to just give it top 1 through 4 so everybody knows where they're at as we go into the next one. We got Veronica in the lead with 39%. Just behind her, we got Kyle with 39%, a spread of 8 votes. Oh. And then we have Cece and Steve. So that is how our top 4 rank. You guys have an opportunity to come back with the objection questions that Steve and Chris are going to tee up.
All right.
Yeah, so it's not over yet. I want to make sure that's clear because we're going to get right into objections right now. Luckily, my computer is working a little bit, and I can see the objections for the buyer's agents here starting to flow in from the audience. And so, Chris, should we start with the audience question, or do you want to start with an objection?
Yeah, I'll go with a quick one, Steve. And I know we have to keep it moving, but I'll start with CC. I'll go to CC. And CC, I'm sure you've maybe heard this before, but I loved everything you said. It sounds like you guys have a lot of great experience and you get a lot of those offers accepted. But I also have a relative that has a real estate license, and they said they just put it in the MLS for me. So I appreciate your time, but I'm going to circle back with you after I talk to them.
We do. You know, you're right. We do hear that objection a lot from sellers. I mean, certainly working with your friends and family can be exciting. What I'm hearing, though, do you want them to get paid?
Yeah. I mean, I feel like if I'm going to buy a house anyway, yeah, it would be nice if they could get paid while we did it.
All right. And if you're going to hire your family and friend mentor, you also are wanting to hire the best realtor to get the job done, correct?
Yeah, I would be willing to take a B relative over an A non-relative.
Okay. Well, we hear that a lot. And what happens when something goes wrong? Are you willing to fire your friend, fire your family member, and risk that?
That would be pretty awkward.
Well, you know what we do is whenever you list with us, we will get you the most exposure. You'll be able to work with an A realtor and allow your B relative to get paid. They can work the open house the very first weekend it's listed.
All right, cool. I like that, CC. That was good. Steve, give an objection to Steve Volkers. You got one ready?
Yeah. I got one ready. So
she led me down that path. That was smart, Steve. She led me down the path. And I came back out of the corner.
There's a chance you're the only one I can hear, Chris. So Steve Volkers, address Chris here just in case I can't hear you because of the computer glitch here. But the question is, and I'm taking this from the audience, but if I don't hire a buyer's agent, I can save 3% when I make my offer because the seller doesn't have to pay you.
Yeah, so thank you so much for that question, Steve and Chris. So the issue in our market right now is there's 1 month of inventory, right? So yes, working with the agent that might have it listed, you could save some money, you think. But with the fact that there's 40 or 50 offers on houses under 150, which is the price range that you already told me that you wanted to be in Grand Rapids, you're going to lose out. And that's not that much money. So it's okay to maybe talk with the listing agent, but everyone else is going to be represented. And they're not going to be represented with somebody as strong as I am. So what I'd really like to do is make sure that we set the appointment together, go check the house out, and I can show you where the market's going, why it should be going as fast as it is, and what offer we should be making so we can get the house and get you into the right value.
Boom. Could you hear him, Steve, or no?
Yeah. It cut in and out for me a bit, but overall, from what I heard, that was a great response.
Yeah, my favorite part there, Steve, is what I call the acknowledge. Like when you get an objection and the fact that you just said, thank you for that question. Yeah. I can't tell people how important that is, because when you start with the answer to the question, it feels like this. But when you take that little step back, oh, thank you so much for that question. That's a really interesting question. And then you answer, I loved it. I also like how you just sort of quantified it, like, hey, you know, with your price point and with the 3% you're mentioning, like, it's definitely not more money than is worth losing out on your dream home, right? Boom. I love that, Steve. Great stuff. Steve, who's next? We got 2 more objections, one for Kyle, one for Veronica.
Yeah. Do you want me to come up with one for Kyle here?
Yeah, do Kyle's, and then I'll finish it up with Veronica, and then we'll get the Buyers Agent PitchFest champion crowned.
All right. So here's one that's a little bit interesting. Tell me how you can source homes different from the average agent. Tell me how you can find houses that other agents can't.
Definitely. So there's 3 ways, which conveniently I talked about earlier, that we're going to go in there and we're going to find homes for you. First and foremost, we work with a service where we can put a pin on a map, draw a circle around it, pull in all the phone numbers and email addresses of everybody that lives in that area. We're going to go out there, we're going to call, we're going to text, and we're going to email everybody to go out there and find that perfect home for you. If we don't find it doing it that way, we're going to strap on our shoes, we're going to get out there, and we're going to knock on those doors and find somebody who's got that home for sale. We're also going to record a video of you guys talking about everything that you're looking for in a home. And we're going to post that video on social media, on Facebook, on Instagram. We're also going to target everybody that lives within that community and show them that video, because video and storytelling is what sells. So we can put you, your family, your kids, all of that on video. People in the neighborhood are going to take notice of that, especially because they've already gotten a call, a text, and an email from us. Lastly, we're a part of a bunch of groups in San Diego where all the agents in San Diego are posting about the listings that they've got coming soon. Or sometimes they've even got listings that they're not putting on the MLS, or what we refer to as a pocket listing. So we've got access to all of those listings as well. So those are just a few of the ways we're going to think outside the box to go out there and find you the perfect home at the perfect price.
I love that.
That was a great answer. What if I'm afraid to be on video, Kyle?
If you're afraid to be on video, I'll give you a beer beforehand and you'll be fine.
There we go. He knows his lead there, telling you. So, yeah, I loved it. I think ultimately, I remember I was sitting next to this rich guy on a flight one time, and he worked for Deloitte. And he said, when you're rich, everything's for sale. He said there was a Sotheby's agent that he told him what they wanted. You know, this is our price range, and it needs to have a tennis court, and it needs to have, you know, this other thing. And she hit him back, and she was like, hey, there's nothing listed like that. He goes, well, I'm on Google Maps, and I see 4 of them with tennis courts. Please go knock on their doors and let me know what they say. And, like, one of the 4 people sold their house. So, in theory, everything's for sale is what I kind of heard there, Kyle, if we need it to be. Great answer. So, last up on the objections is Veronica.
Yep.
And I'm going to give her a tough one because I like pushing her and challenging her. But I think that with a serious buyer or seller, they're going to be looking at potentially 1 or 2 other options. So, Veronica, I loved everything I heard from you today. But before I move forward, I do want to talk to Jenny Wiemert, who also is here in East Orlando and seems to do a great job too.
Oh, Chris, I'm going to kill you. You know, Jenny Weimer's a personal friend of mine. She definitely has a very similar operation when it comes to culture with her agents, how we train our agents about being entrenched in our markets. And I honestly think it's a very smart thing for you to interview Jenny. My question is to you, what I'm hearing, other than meeting with Jenny, is that the only thing keeping you from deciding to work with us today?
That's right.
What do you think that Jenny Wiemert can offer other than us? And if there was something that you felt that we didn't offer, because I'd like to address that concern prior to if there is an opportunity.
I really just feel like, you know, my wife wants me to do my due diligence. So I would just feel really bad to choose after one interview. You know, we bought a pool. We interviewed a couple people. We're going to buy a house. We think we should interview a couple people.
I think it's really, really wise for you to do so. And here's what I'm going to ask you to do. Once you speak to Jenny, I'm going to then at that point ask you to enter into a loyalty agreement with me, because I promise that we're going to be extremely loyal to you for this process, as we spoke about earlier. So the fact that you're being honest with me, that you're still interviewing agents. I appreciate that because that's going to allow me to focus on the clients that right now are loyal with us and wanting us to put them at the top of our search. So what day are you planning on speaking with Jenny?
You know what? Now that you said all that, I may not even talk to her. That was great, Steve. The competition objection is very real.
The takeaway almost.
The takeaway at the end. I'm like, hold on a second, Veronica.
We'll slow down.
Talk to her. But you know what I loved? She was very honest. Like we get this a lot of Curaytor, Steve. I'm sure there's some other video tool out there too, right? And people will bring up, your competition. Yeah. Everybody likes to think they don't have any. We think too, but we all do. Yeah. And I loved the way that she kept it positive. Like, if you don't end up using me, you should use her. Yeah. Like, that's all you had to say for me to like you. That was huge. And then, like, because we get that objection, like, hey, what do you, we love what you guys do, but what about Boomtown? What about Commissions Inc.? And it is the last thing in the world that we would stop and say, well, they don't do what we always compliment them. Man, those systems are great. If you can have that and us, that's really the best spot to be. So I think that it's very natural to want to beat up your competitor if they come up. Yep. And I think the way Veronica killed her with kindness was great. I love the takeaway at the end. Good job, Veronica. Steve, let's get the vote. We're about to crown a PitchFest buyer's agent champion. I know Kyle and Veronica were neck and neck. I actually think they're still going to be neck and neck.
So here's what we're doing, though, Chris. Yeah. We're adding up both rounds.
Okay.
So if you crushed your objection, you could get more points, and you could jump in and get that first place $500 gift card. That we're giving out here. So we're adding up both rounds together. Veronica, that was an amazing job, I thought, personally. She was very confident in her answer, too. And
the poll is live, just so you guys know. As you're talking, we're going to let people start voting.
Yeah, start voting. I mean, honestly, Steve, I thought they all did a great job. I thought Cece, came on super strong in the objection round. She really got me to the point where I would have not hired my uncle. You know what I mean? I don't want to fight with my uncle. Yeah, I don't want to sue my uncle. So I thought she did a great job. Steve, Kyle, Veronica, they all did a great job. Well, I know that everybody voting probably wants the person they're voting for to win. One thing before we reveal the final poll and the winner is, guys, please go to Facebook. Please go to Instagram and look these folks up. Send them a message and tell them thank you and that you appreciate their time today. Keep up with what they're doing. Follow them on IG. Follow them on Facebook. Send them a message. Like, this has been the most fun webinar I've ever attended. And I just feel like there's so much value that we should all thank the participants, especially the agents.
Yeah.
How we looking, Jason?
All right, we got about 60% of the votes. We're going to close this down in 30 seconds for the sake of time. So get in there, give your final votes.
Cool. And while you guys do that, if you're going to have a chance to win, I'm going to announce the winners of the books real quick, Jason, while you do that.
All righty.
So we've given away 2 books. We're going to give away 2 more now, and then the last one in the DJI Osmo very soon. Congratulations to Heather Lee Meager and Joel Humphreys. Heather Lee Meager and Joel Humphreys, you're both getting an autographed copy of the conversion code. If you have not entered to win yet, this is your last chance. So you have to follow us on Instagram. You have to share the pinned post on our Facebook page and then send a message to Curaytor on Facebook with either the word PitchFest or scripts, and we'll send those back to you right away. All right, Jason.
All right, we're shutting it down. And I'm excited to announce that, Veronica, you are our winner.
Wow. Good job, Veronica.
Oh, my God.
Congratulations.
That was awesome. That was so cool.
But all 4 people, like Chris said, everyone on here is a winner. Veronica, great job. Thank you guys for sharing your knowledge, your expertise. You were invited on here because you're already a winner. And so there are no losers in this event. But.
Cool. So congrats, Veronica. We'll get you the $500 gift card. Everyone else, thank you for playing along. And like I said, stalk these guys, follow these guys, make sure you prop them out on social. But I have so many notes here, Steve. I'm supposed to be the MC. And I'm actually taking a ton of notes. Like my notes are filling up. So let's get into the listing agent round. Keep it moving.
Yeah, we got to keep this moving. And do we have everyone on for the listing agent round, Jason?
We sure do. Let me just get everybody on video. Just give me a moment to get everybody invited to get on camera here. You guys should be seeing an invitation coming up on your screen to join us. So go ahead and do so.
Hey, and I don't know if you could do it at the same time, but if you want to do the poll question right now, what do you want the next PitchFest to be about? Feel free, Jason. Feel free to rock that out if you need a minute, because this is the first one in a series of PitchFests. We want portals to pitch. We want Zillow and Realtor.com to tell you about their lead products. We want buyer products, seller products, websites. We want brokerages. Mm-hmm. We want the biggest brokerages in the world to come on and pitch you on why you should work for that brokerage. We have a lot of ideas, and we have a poll question for you guys to vote who you want to be on, or what you would like to talk about, I should say, on the PitchFest.
I just launched that, and Raj, if you can hear us, you're the last one. We need to get your video turned on. We got Chris, Amit, and Callie joining us. So Raj, if you're there, go ahead and start your video.
Yeah, Steve, this is going to be fun to see what people vote for. Like, we want to get Compass, Keller Williams, Remax, and EXP to all pitch why agents should work there. And then we want a boutique to pitch why they shouldn't work at any of them. Like, that's the one I personally would like to see the most. I'll be interested to see why what everyone else votes for. I would also love to see the portals, right?
Yeah.
So much about ZRT and Homes.com. And you never really hear their pitches in a concise way. So I can't.
How their products are different.
Yeah, it'll be exciting to see what the answers are, and then we will take this into account when we build out the next PitchFest. Hopefully, you guys are loving this one. I think you are. I do think we'll end up finishing on time, Steve. I know it's going to be tight, but
we have 39 minutes left. Yeah.
So why don't we do this for round 2? Okay. For the seller round. Let's get their pitch and then give them the objection back to back.
Okay.
And then we'll just do one vote for which one did the best at both.
That's great. So everyone, we already have objections for sellers, but if you have any, just type them in now then, because we're going to do it back to back. So
yeah, I think that'll pick up a few minutes, Steve. And Jason, let's see what people want for the next PitchFest, if you can reveal that.
Yeah, we'll go ahead and end this poll and share the results out. This is the one we'll share with everyone. It's pretty interesting, pretty clear marketing strategies, taking the lead, then seller lead programs in second, and then in the 20s, kind of everybody follows things up there as well. So
that's great. That's good to know, because we're thinking like a debate about like pay-per-click versus SEO versus Facebook.
Snail mail.
Yeah, and actually, Steve, pull up the webinar slide, because this is a perfect segue. You know, Steve and our team tomorrow, we're going to present like marketing strategies.
Yeah.
You know, like at Curaytor, we do seller lead gen. So it's nice to see that the topics that people want on the next one are actually the things that Curaytor and BombBomb think about and do every single day. So if you do want to learn more about seller lead gen, marketing strategies, you can learn a little bit on our pitch tomorrow. And then it looks like we have a couple winners there, Steve. We could do a seller lead gen, marketing strategies. We can do a couple categories. So that's going to be fun. I hope it works out. I'm going to introduce Callie.
Yep.
We got Raj on, so we are all ready to go.
Cool. Awesome. Well, I'm going to introduce Callie. Callie is an amazing Curaytor client. Her slogan is Discover the Dalton Difference. And I've just had a pleasure of meeting her several times. I'm excited to hear her pitch. Callie Dalton, welcome to PitchFest.
Hello, and thank you for having me. I'm delighted to be here. Real estate is a simple business that's not easy. I'm Callie Dalton, CEO of the top real estate team in the Roanoke Valley. So you want to sell your house? It can be stressful, there are no guarantees, and most anything can happen, which is why you do not want a part-time realtor selling your house. Whether you're selling $100,000 or $1 million, it's all about you. Our job is to turn your expectations into a reality. You want your selling experience to be as smooth as possible.
Selling a house today is very different than it was just a few years ago. Today's buyers look for reasons not to buy. Our focus is on accentuating the positives while reducing any perceived negatives. That's why I've assembled a team of dedicated professionals, all working towards the common goal to sell your house for the most money in the least amount of time. On average, our listings sell for 95% of list price in under 60 days on market. Whatever your challenge may be, we have the resources to help you. Our in-house photographer will take professional photos, a 3D virtual walkthrough, and video highlighting the surrounding area outside. We outperform our competition by selling 147 units, 43.5 million annually. Our website is responsive, user-friendly, and provides access to the entire Roanoke Valley's MLS. We have an exclusive partnership with an award-winning marketing firm, which has been featured in Entrepreneur, Forbes, Fortune magazine, and its co-founder, Chris Smith, is a best-selling author. Through Curaytor, we utilize the latest marketing technology, which makes your listing stand out on Facebook and other social media sites with target marketing specifically designed for your property. This allows us to get 10 times the results of other agents. Long & Foster's affiliation with Christie's Luxury Magazine, the Wall Street Journal, and Virginia Living Magazine, to name a few, affords us the opportunity to reach areas outside the Roanoke Valley. Locally, we maintain a presence in the Roanoke Times with weekly full and half-page ads, as well as full-page ads in a variety of other magazines. You wonder how we do it? We genuinely love serving our clients. We love where we live, and we're excited that we have the honor to be among Roanoke's greatest ambassadors. That being said, we are the right choice. Our success is measured by the level of satisfaction we provide one client at a time, and we would love for you to be our next client.
Cool. Well, I like that, Callie. I want to give a disclaimer here. You know, role playing a pitch is tough, right? Like pretending you're at somebody's living room.
Yes.
And that they're sitting there is hard. But here's what I want the people watching to remember. Callie actually goes on 4 to 6 appointments a day, every day. How many do you go on? And that, you know what I mean, Steve? Like and she's also the #1 agent in her market. So there's a lot of people that I think that maybe they could give a little bit of a better pitch in a role play scenario than Callie did. But I think in the living room with the listing appointment with her and, you know, with the customer, that's going to eliminate any of my critiques. So, you know, sounding like you're reading, you're obviously not going to go to someone's house and read. You know what I mean? Being a little bit scripted, you're not going to do that at a listing appointment. So I think in this kind of a role play exercise, that normal energy, passion was not coming through the screen. But I know that's because it's an exercise and I know the results that you get. So I love that you're out there working hard. The thing I like the most is I've been with you many times at dinner, at conferences, and you have a vibe of a luxury agent. And I think what happens a lot of times is like, if I'm looking for 2 to 3, 400,000, and I feel like the agent that's sitting across from me is kind of fancy, if you will, or very successful, I think it's important to actually point out that we don't care if your house is $100,000 or $1 million. We go all in. And I know that's true about you, Callie. I know you're up at 1 a.m. every night working hard for your clients. So thanks for being on PitchFest.
That lower price point is our bread and
butter.
Yeah,
and unfortunately, this is killing me. I couldn't hear a word of it. So thanks for doing the follow-up there. Do we want to do the objection right now, Chris? I got a good one.
Yeah, give her a quick good one, Steve.
All right. So Realtor X said they'd reduce their commission. This is the most popular one. We're going to go with the easy one. Realtor X said they would reduce their commission by Y%. Will you match that?
So what I have to say is that we bring a lot of value to the table. Again, in 3 minutes, you can't say everything you do, but my first thing that I would say back to you is I'm not your girl. If you're looking for a discount, that wouldn't be us. We actually spend 1% of that commission on you while we're selling your house.
And Steve, I think that's all you got to say. And I don't think Steve can hear Callie, so it's a little awkward.
No,
but no, it's not your fault. But I think that's it. We were interviewing a guy named Jack Cotton, and he like wrote the book on luxury. And when they ask about, hey Jack, you know, we're selling a $3 million home, can you lower your commission? His answer is, you want me to lower my commission? And then he just stops. So I think sometimes what happens is when you get the question about commission, people go way too deep, Steve. And I love how Callie said it. If you need a discount, I'm not your girl. You know, discounts are for Walmart, not for selling your home. I mean, that's how I would position it.
That's great. If I would have heard that, I would have provided a little clap. Thank you, Callie.
Cool. Great job, Callie. Thank you so much. Let's get to the next one, Steve. We've got Raj. You want to intro Raj real quick, or just
you know, it's funny. A lot of the people that are on the PitchFest webinar here are top video influencers from BombBomb. They're top 50. Raj, you probably have seen him before. He's been on video 1 billion times. He's been on stage. He's a kick butt realtor. And Raj, why don't you take it away, my man?
Thank you, Steve. Am I good on audio?
Oh, I can actually hear you. Amazing. I can hear you.
Sound great, Raj.
Well, awesome. Thanks, guys, for having me on the show. My name is Raj Kassar. I'm principal and owner of the Boutique Real Estate Group. And we literally are a boutique real estate brokerage based right in the heart of Orange County. What I wanted to do today is pitch why you should hire me and my team to sell your home. I'm going to give you 4 reasons why you should hire us and then a bonus. Ready? The world is so visual. Here's number 1. Everything is visual. Everyone's on their phone. They're scrolling. And the point with visual marketing is we're going to take the absolute best photos. So people take great photos. We're going to take the absolutely best photos. And here's the thing about photos. Your number 1 photo, which is going to be on your brochure, on Zillow, Realtor, Homes.com. It's going to be on Facebook, Instagram. We take more time on that one photo than anything. Every photo that we take is hand touched by our team. We're dropping skies in. We're making pools look blue. We're making grass look green. Images in the TV, fires in the fireplace. People have to connect emotionally with your listing. And if they don't connect emotionally, they're not going to buy. Number 2, video production. And as you know, we're not going to step up with an iPhone and start doing Blair Witch Project style videos on your home. We've got a full video crew, and this is world-class video. We use the same type of cameras they use in Hollywood. And what we're going to do is tell a story about your home so people can connect emotionally to that home, on that street, in that neighborhood. When people connect emotionally, they remember. People walk through a house and they imagine themselves having dinner in that dining room. They imagine having Christmas in that living room and opening up trees. And we're going to tell a story and connect with someone emotionally through video. And guess what? YouTube is the largest video platform on the planet. It's also owned by Google, which is the biggest search engine on the planet. So when people are searching for your homes, whether on YouTube or Google, we're going to come up first. Number 3, the world is global. Anyone can see anything, anywhere on the planet. And when they see something that connects with them emotionally, they're going to react. We have 2 ways that we're going to push your listing globally. Number 1, when we syndicate your listings, and when we say syndication, that means pushing it to the world. We syndicate it through a global MLS. You know, only 1% of the world's brokers syndicate globally. We're going to push your home to 200 countries, and that listing is going to get transcribed into that country's language. And guess what? The phone number, the contact, comes right to our office here in Orange County. So not only are we going to push your home regionally and locally, but it's going to go out to the world, and it's going to be transcribed in that country's language. Guess what? Our brokerage website can be seen behind the Chinese firewall. We have so many people in Orange County that are coming from China, and your listing can be seen by people in China. Guess what? China doesn't have Google or Facebook. They don't. So how are those people going to find us when we're using Google and Facebook? We're using Chinese syndication platforms to get your home out to China. Number 2, we are part of what's called Leverage Global Partners. And Leverage Global Partners is an independent network of luxury real estate brokers worldwide. We are the only affiliate here in Orange County. So when those 500 brokers worldwide are referring people to Orange County, guess what? We're the only company that gets the call. Number 3, technology. Technology's taken over the planet. And we're not doing technology to be technologists. We're using technology to increase our customer service with our clients. And there's a couple things that we do to make your listing stand out. Number 1, websites. We'll build a website for your home. You're probably thinking that's like so 2000. Well, guess what? The back of the website's where all the glory is. The back of the website is so exciting. Don't you want people, when they click on that site, don't you want us to capture that information? Guess what? When you go to Nordstrom.com and you look for a pair of shoes, and that shoe's all of a sudden is in your Facebook feed, it's on Google search, it's everywhere you go on the web. Your home, we build an ad for your home that will do just that. So guess what? When people keep seeing your home over and over and over again, it's like a sign from above. They want to purchase. Number 2, we have a concierge level service. Any site of yours that's on the web, anywhere your home is on the web, we'll reply to them within 2 minutes, 24/7, day or night.
All right, Raj, I got to cut you off. 3 minutes is up, but.
Well, brother? Okay. I didn't even close yet.
Yeah, close up. I'll let you close up. 10 seconds. 10 seconds.
Chris, with these 4 benefits and my 1 bonus, which is we give back. We're part of Give Back Homes, which is a great network. So every home we build, we help donate and build a home for a family in need. We were just on the first build project in Orange County where we helped a family in Santa Ana build a house.
Cool.
With all these things and the bonus, why would you not hire my team? Why would you not?
So, good Chris, question. Let me do this one because this is the first one I heard in a while.
Okay, go for it.
Because there was a couple things that stood out. You wrapped everything in an emotional blanket, which I love. Everything tied back to emotion. Sales is emotional. But the other thing that I want to point out that I think other realtors can pull from your presentation, Raj, here is your use of numbers. Just like you see it on blogs and posts everywhere else, you know, the top 5 reasons for this and the top 10 this and the top 7 this. And the reason why is people will stop and their brain gets re-engaged every time you say a new number. Then they'll forget what you say in the middle, and then the next number comes up and they re-engage because they're thinking about their own world. They're not listening 100% of the time. And every time you say a new number, it ropes someone in. So those are the 2 things that I love. I don't know if you want to add anything else to that, Chris?
Yeah, I'll add something really quick, and then I'll give Raj an objection. But the reason Raj's pitch was great is enthusiasm. It has nothing to do with the words he said. The people in the chat are like, oh, I loved when he said this, and I loved when he said this. Guys, I want you to write this down. Write down the word enthusiasm and put a bracket around IASM, and that stands for I am sold myself. Raj has so much passion and enthusiasm for the work and the explanation of it that it's contagious. And I swear, I know you guys like what he was saying, but it almost wouldn't matter what he said. Raj, let me give you a quick objection, man.
Bring it on, Chris.
I know we're here in Orange County, you know, California, like
knows how to party.
Like my house is worth $4 million and 6% of that is a boatload of money.
And
I mean, I know you say you got cameras that are from Hollywood, but at a $4 million price point, it's just really hard to not ask you to come down just a little off of that, even with all the stuff you do.
Hey, Chris, I totally understand where you're coming from. 6% is a lot of money on $4 million. What do you think our value is? What would you like to pay?
I would like to pretend it was $3 million.
You would like to pretend it's $3 million? So how about this? Why don't we meet in the middle? Let's pretend it's $3.5 million, and let's sign that contract today.
I'll do that.
Sounds great.
See, that's what's interesting is I think everybody's so quick not to go for it. But at that price point, Raj, what does that mean to your bottom line, right? You acknowledge, you respond, you gave me a different option. Great work. So who's Steve? I think we have
Amit next, and then Chris Lindahl.
Cool. So I'll introduce Amit. Amit is a Curaytor client. Raj is a Curaytor client. Great job, Raj. Amit is in South Florida, also works in a pretty luxury market, has worked with NBA players in the past, is a very, very smart marketer. So let's throw it to Amit. And I love his domain, Steve. Look at that. reasonstohireme.com. Great job. Let's go. 3 minutes. Get the timer going, Steve.
Got the timer.
Here we go.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining me today. Just wanted to let you know up front, if on Friday I win the $500 million jackpot on Mega Millions, I am still going to do exactly what I do for a living. I am totally in love with helping people find homes and sell homes. And the reason for that is because there's so many people that are affected by a sale. We think about you, your kids, your coworkers, just everyone in general. And making meaningful changes in people's lives is what drives us so much, my team and I. And because of that, we spend so much more money than the average realtor, our competition. Just to give you an idea, recently we had a listing and we hired a Hollywood filmographer. He flew all the way across to Miami. And because of that, we spent 34 hours on that home, staging the home, getting the home ready, and doing all sorts of things that most other agents wouldn't do. Long story short, we spent 34 hours on that home over several days, and we were able to get, with our hard work, 19,000 views of that home before it even came on the market. Another thing that we do is we have a proven strategy to get the most buyers that are most qualified to find your home. And because of this, we have data, and we're able to use big data to get the numbers, to get the people that are buying in that area. And because of that, in my 14 years of selling real estate, I was able to get 96.1% of the homes sold compared to 73.6% that sold last year. It's a huge difference. Another thing, it's great to get a contract on your home, but what's even more important is to net the most money on your sale. I used to be in the car business, and I don't know if you guys can relate to this. I was a sales manager. So imagine you're at a car dealership, you're there 3-4 hours, and you're tired, you're irritated, your salesman's gone forever. And then all of a sudden he's back. He's there with the sales manager. And you're thinking, oh man, the sales manager is here. My job was to get you to like me immediately, get you to spend more money, and get you to give us a perfect survey. And because of that skill set I have from my 11 years of doing that, I'm able to get you substantially more money than other agents do. So Chris, in the last 2 years, my team and I, we've started getting reviews. In 2 years, we've had 110 5-star reviews. And my team and I would love to get to know you and your family so we could make you number 111.
Boom. Nice ending, Amit. I love it. And I'll give you a couple things I liked here. For overall, the crowd liked it. I liked it. The tone, the vibe was great. One of the things you did that I loved was you used a micro example, not macro examples. So by telling like that one specific story of that one home that the guy flew for 34 hours, to me, that's so much more powerful than we do videos. You know what I mean? So that micro example, I loved it. The other thing, like when you're outperforming the market by a great amount, so you were at 80% versus 60%, or, you know, you're at 90% and the industry's at 70%. I just wanted to give a quick tip on how to really say that maybe the best way possible. Like if you're at 80% and the market's at 60%, you're 33% better than them. You know what I mean? So while there's a 20% spread, 20% is 33% increase over 60. So sometimes it just makes more sense to just say, hey, we sell homes 33%. There's a 33% better chance you'll sell your home if you use us than if you don't. That kind of stuff is super helpful. But overall, great job. Let me give you one quick objection on it.
Okay.
I love that you've worked with NBA guys in Hollywood, but, you know, my house is only a few $100,000. I'm sure you don't do all that same stuff for me. I feel like you're overqualified to sell my home.
You know, and I'm glad you asked that, Chris. I get that asked a lot of times from friends because, you know, we're in a social media age today and everyone sees the nice things, but they don't see the behind the scenes things. And, you know, it's pretty cool showing an NBA player these multi-million-dollar homes, but what drives me and my family the most is being able to find that father a home that's 45 minutes closer to work, so every single day he can come home to his family and spend a little bit more time with his wife and kids.
Cool. Good job. It's not about the money. You started with that. I think it's a great way to bring that back up when you overcome the objection. Up next, thank you, Amit, we have Chris Lindahl. Chris Lindahl is a mega agent in Minnesota, just got a lot of mainstream press for a very smart billboard campaign during the Super Bowl.
Whoa. You can't tell this story, Chris. This is my hometown. It's Philadelphia.
Yeah.
You got to let me roll with the story. So Chris Lindahl, during the Minnesota Vikings, Philadelphia Eagles playoff game, put a big, and hope, I don't know if you guys can see me, but put a big billboard of Chris with his arms wide open saying purple is greater than green, and then proceeded, which was the craziest part, proceeded to actually go to the event and take a picture in front of the billboard and then go to the football playoff game, which surprisingly enough, he made it out alive. Besides all that, he's an amazing realtor, and he is the last one up here for our sellers pitches. Chris, why don't you take it away, buddy?
Can you see me?
We got you.
Okay. All right. So I've got some questions for you, Steve and Chris. Are you shaking your head, Steve?
Steve may not be able to hear you, unfortunately, Chris.
Right.
But I'm
I got a private message from Jason, said he couldn't see me, but you can see me. We're good.
Yeah, you look good.
Okay, great.
Sound good.
So I've got some questions. You're thinking about selling your house, Chris, and I want to make sure that we're doing the right thing for you. What 3 things are you looking for in your next real estate agent?
I haven't thought about it yet.
You haven't thought about it yet. Great. So here's what I will tell you about that. The ones that come to mind are honest, integrity, and typically marketing. And so what we do at the Chris Lindahl team is we treat your commission like marketing dollars. We're in a position, and this year we're going to sell over 1,500 houses. We don't need to make much money on each home sale. We can take those dollars and invest those back into marketing so that you get top dollar for your house. Here's the thing that I know, and the first question that you're probably thinking is, how much do you charge? We don't focus a lot on actual commission. We focus on your bottom line. So at the end, we'll take a look at some different scenarios where we can focus on your bottom line. And just let me ask you one question. If everything we share today is of interest to you, are you willing to make a decision today, Chris?
Maybe.
I love it. All right. Okay. So let me tell you just a brief story about Apple. And the way that Apple sells iPhones is essentially the way that the Chris Lindahl team sells real estate. So around February, March of every year, and this has consistently been happening with Apple over and over again, is they start to leak out. It's going to have 5 cameras, 10 cameras, charging cables are going to change, wireless, whatever it may be. And then what they do is they connect with tech bloggers and influencers, and there's all these leaks. They're going to beat Samsung. Samsung's going to beat Apple. There's all these things that are happening. Basically what they're doing is they're pre-marketing their product. So let me ask you a question, Chris. If when Apple releases an iPhone in August or September, like they do every year and they have for 10 iPhones now, do you think anyone would show up if they just released product and a surplus of it the day of the actual release date?
No, I think the hype helps.
Correct. So that's exactly what we do at the Chris Lindahl team, where we build up all this hype before you even hit the MLS. So a lot of the work at the Chris Lindahl team is done before it hits the MLS. The MLS for the Chris Lindahl team has actually become more supplemental. I'm not saying that our process has replaced the MLS. It definitely helps to get that exposure. But what we have built at the Chris Lindahl team is getting significantly more money because of that pre-marketing. And so the way that we do that is we leak things out along the way. We have a massive following on Facebook. We have the #1 reviewed Zillow profile in the state of Minnesota. And what that means, if you haven't been on Zillow, and maybe you have, is when you're on Zillow, the big thing is the number of reviews and number of sales is they're going to inquire with that real estate agent. And so that's the really big thing in real estate today, is making sure you go with an agent that has the most reviews and the most sales. So let me ask you a question, Chris. Is there anything that I didn't share yet that I need to share before you make a decision?
Boom. I'm going to say no, but that's the 3 minutes, Steve?
Yep.
Nice job, Chris. I love that. Could you hear us, Steve?
Unfortunately not. I don't know what's going on. I can hear some people and not others.
Okay.
So
let me know. Real quick, with Chris's answer that said no, great. Then we'll sign the contract right now.
Perfect. I love it, Chris. You know what you did great there, that Apple analogy. God, they just have such consumer mind share, and it makes so much sense. And the idea that we're going to win this marketing battle before it starts. I think that's a huge angle. You also leverage Zillow. So ultimately, Apple and Zillow, and don't get mad at me, guys, people like Apple and Zillow more than they like real estate agents, more than they like salespeople. So I call that building trust through third-party validation. I thought that was great. The other thing is just kind of just an observation at large. Now hearing 8 pitches from 8 really smart realtors. Steve, not one of them mentioned their brokerage. So if these brokerages don't come on and do PitchFest, I mean, like we hear this all the time. People don't hire Remax. They hire me. They don't hire, Sotheby's. They hire me. But then Chris works at Remax, and so does Veronica, and Amit works at Sotheby's. So I just thought that was fascinating that if you've only got 3 minutes to give an elevator pitch, your brokerage did not make the cut. Just put that out there as a global observation. So, Steve, let's get into the voting. I know we've got to get Jared.
Well, we got just a quick objection.
We got an objection to Chris.
Yeah, we need a quick objection, which I like this one. Let me take this one from the audience, even though I can't hear Chris's answer. But this is a good one, though. I need to discuss this with my wife, but the wife is sitting right next to the person. So what do you do when they're both sitting there, but they want to go and talk? How do you close them down?
Yeah, that is a very common concern, Steve. When we're with homeowners that need to make a decision, I'm going to step out for 5 minutes and make one phone call, and then I'll come back in and answer any other questions you have.
Solid. I think that's fair.
What did he say?
Well, sorry, Steve. I know it's awkward. He basically said, I'm going to step outside for 5 minutes. I have a phone call I need to make anyway. And then that'll give you guys some time to chat without me. I totally respect that. I love that. I thought that was great. Good job, Chris. So here we go. We're doing one vote. You have to factor in the pitch and the objections between Callie, Raj, Chris, and the other the poll just popped up. And Amit, you popped the poll up right over the slide. But we're going to give you guys a chance to vote here for your favorite listing pitch. Factor in the objection round as well.
Yep.
Similar to the other round, Steve, I felt like, some people's pitch wasn't as strong as the way they handled objections. And then some people pitched really well, and then they weren't quite as great at the objection stuff. While we calculate those winners, Steve, we've got the last two winners of the promo here to announce.
Awesome.
So I want to congratulate Eileen O'Reilly.
Which one did she win?
She is going to win the conversion code. And then, Steve, can you talk a little bit about the DJ tool? This is congratulations to Mr. Steven Stout from Keller Williams. He wins that. But what is it, Steve?
It rocks. So it's a little grip where you put your phone on, and if you ever tried to walk and record anything, the video comes out all shaky. If you ever try to do a selfie video, your hand can shake. And so this is a digital not a digital stabilization, an actual stabilization tool that it allows you to walk or run or move or show a house or do a selfie video, and it looks amazing. And so $129, the brand new DJI Osmos. We have one. We use them all the time. It rocks. We also have 8 minutes left, and we will finish in 8 minutes. We'll keep it to 2 hours. So we're going to do this voting, and then there's two coaches that are going to answer some of your questions and objections quickly, and you guys are going to be able to vote on the best coach for PitchFest.
Yeah, and then, Steve, this will be our last chance. If you guys want to learn what we do, let me give the quickest pitch I can for why people should join the webinars tomorrow.
Yeah.
If you were impressed today by the agents on this call, they're all either Curaytor or BombBomb clients.
Correct.
Eagles fly with eagles, my friends. And so if you want to be a top agent, you need to model their systems, like Jay Kinder said. And every single agent on this call is either a Curaytor or a BombBomb client. So if you want to learn more about us, last chance, Curaytor.com or BombBomb.com/pitch, and we'll do a walkthrough tomorrow. But I think really, Steve, that's the main reason, right? These are our clients, and they freaking rock. So here we go. Do we have the answer, Jason? We have the winner?
All right, we're at about 55% voted, so we'll get just a few more minutes. If you're doing something, it is literally neck and neck right now.
Ooh,
I mean, we're talking about
20 seconds, Jason. 20 seconds. That's all we got.
20 more seconds just to let it kind of settle out for everyone to get a vote in.
20 seconds, guys. Get your vote in, and then we're going to the PitchFest finals where we will see Jay Kinder and Jared James battle it out head-to-head to finish up this awesome day.
All right. It's been that 20 seconds. We're going to go ahead and end it. And I'm happy to announce, Raj, you are our winner by just a hair. An absolute hair over the rest of the competition. So well done, Raj. Raj, can you hear us?
Yeah, cool. Raj, congrats, man. You're going to get a $500 gift card as a thank you. Callie, Amit, Chris, guys, do the same thing we mentioned earlier. Go to Facebook, go to Instagram, show them love, send them a message, thank them for what they do. And just to answer a quick question in the chat, BombBomb and Curaytor, we both work with lenders. We both work with mortgage people. I saw that question. So, Steve, we're in the finals. Let's do it. You promised we'd finish in the next 6 minutes.
I'm stopping everyone's video. We're going to get our coaches back on, so give me just a brief moment.
Yeah, no problem. Actually, Steve, can you bring up the live chat slide for 1 second while we get the coaches back?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, there's a lot of people asking questions about Curaytor and BombBomb now. So if you actually go to our websites, you can go to either Curaytor.com or BombBomb.com, and our team is manning the live chat. So if you want to learn more about Curaytor, like at Curaytor at least, we're completely exclusive and semi-expensive. So, you know, we don't want people to sit through a whole demo if they're new or they're not somebody that actually sells homes already. So if you do want to check more information right now, you could go to Curaytor.com or BombBomb.com, and both companies have people monitoring the live chat, and they can answer any and all questions you have. So here we go. We ready, Jason? We got the finals?
Yeah, we got Jared and Jay on. Can you guys hear us and see okay?
I can hear you.
All righty.
All right, Steve, why don't you set the table here?
Yeah, so we have a bunch of questions, and not necessarily objections. They're just questions, more or less, for the coaches. And there's so many here. I'm going to try to pick out a few. Maybe we'll do two apiece, and then we'll vote and we'll close
Two
this
each
out.
and vote. That's all we got time for. And guys, please, Jay and Jared, please try to keep your answers to 30 seconds here.
Sure.
Yeah, so I like this one here. What if I don't want to sell 500 homes a year? How do you help people drive their dollar per hour and their profit per print transaction? Jared.
That's an easy answer, man. Anyone who says, starting off with saying they need to sell 500 homes, nobody ever said that, man. That's somebody who doesn't know their numbers. Like, once you actually know your numbers, you know what it costs to get a lead, you know what it costs to get a conversion, you know how much time it takes you. It's just reverse engineering it. How many homes do you want to sell? Well, then this is how much your marketing dollars are. This is what you got to put in to convert. And then it equals that. Nobody's got to do 500 homes unless that's what they want. It's just knowing your numbers, period.
Jay, what about you? How do you feel about that? If I'm selling 12 homes and you sound like you work with all these big dogs, you're probably not right for me, right, Jay?
Yeah, there's it always starts with reverse engineering the plan from where you're at today and what the lifestyle is that you want to have, and that's how you build your business. So if you don't have a system for how you get there, then it becomes very difficult to get there. And we start with a very intense vision process of just trying to understand what you want your life to look like, and then we make the business fit your lifestyle. That's our goal as we start the process.
Yeah, and I do think that a lot of times I see these agents with 500 deals, and I just wonder how good of a father are they? How good of a parent and mom and spouse can you be? But I do think with the right systems, it can be done, Jay. We have clients that triple their production while they triple their family time. It's possible, but you're right. It's systems. Let me give you guys one last objection here. And then, Steve, we got to vote. I have been talking to some other coaches that are a little bit more well-known than you guys. Ooh. And so why wouldn't I just go with, Buffini or Mike Ferry, or I work at Keller. They're always talking about MAPS coaching. Why wouldn't I hire one of those coaches instead of you guys?
Jay, you want to take it first this time?
Sure, man. First of all, I would say, you should investigate looking at all the coaches that are out there and figure out who's the best fit for you. I would say that what's different about what we do was we founded the National Association of Expert Advisors because the biggest challenge that every agent we coached had was implementation. And the done-for-you model, as we've seen, is really what real estate agents need. So from value propositions to magazine tear sheets and positioning, being positioned as the expert, all of the things that we do that are done for you, you don't get when you just get coaching. So we created a platform that allows us to deliver on the materials that you need so that you can be trained to a system and then have that system already in place so that you don't have to go recreate things. So I think that's probably, if I was going to say what differentiates us, that's what I would say.
So you don't bring me to the water. You kind of drink it with me. You push my head in it. You're not teaching me. You're doing it alongside of me. Jared, what about you, man? You're a successful young guy. Jay seems to be as well, but there's
Simple
just
answer, man.
out there that have a longer track record.
Look, man, if you make decisions just based on the biggest names and the longest track records, then go get a video from Blockbuster tonight. You know, go do your toy shopping at Toys R Us. It's the wrong decision making. Like, if that's what you're making your decisions on, I'm afraid the kind of decisions you're going to make in the next 12 months, you're probably not going to listen to us anyway.
Whoa.
Strong. Whoa. I like it. Well, here we go, Steve. We got to vote right now.
Yeah, we got to vote.
I thought Jay and Jared handled those great. Here we go, guys. Last chance. You are going to crown the PitchFest coaching champion right now. Both of you guys performed tremendously. And we'll
Thanks for doing this, by the way, guys. Thanks for doing this.
But
yeah, appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem, you guys. This has definitely been fun. I'm glad we did it. But just real quick, you guys, you can go right now to naea.com. And Jared, is jaredjames.com or Jared James Today?
Yeah, we have jaredjamestoday.com, but I tell people if you want to connect, go to connectwithjared.com. And all the social platforms, I'll respond. Go that way.
Yeah, if you guys want to learn more, these guys are obviously great at what they do. I really do feel like there's no answers. I think that the people watching today, Steve, what they've got to leave and do is they've got to go, who can I actually model that I heard today?
Yep.
You know, as much as Raj was popular, y'all ain't Raj. Like, and everybody's style doesn't relate to everybody's style. Like, I can promise you there's a lot of people that would rather work with Callie than Raj.
And vice versa, and everyone on this call.
Yeah, so I thought everybody was a winner, which is, you know, that obviously sounds cheesy. But try to figure out of all the people today, who do you have a chance of modeling? Not everybody has that fire Veronica has. But when I watch Steve Volkers and you know what I mean, Kyle, you know, you don't have to be necessarily, you know, on level 11 to win people's business. So here we go.
All
Steve,
right, guys.
Time. You ready?
Jason?
We're closing the poll down, and Jared, you are our winner.
Cool. Good job, Jared James. Appreciate it. Jay Kinder, props to you too, my man. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, I'll see you soon, man.
And we definitely know that half the battle today was showing up. So thank you guys for having the courage and the bravery to put yourselves out there. Same thing for all the agents. Steve, I'll let you get the last word. This has been an awesome event.
No, that's it. I mean, this was a brainchild we had from late last year. We put it together. We thought it was going to be valuable. This was the biggest webinar that I've ever been a part of, Chris. I think you said the same thing. And we're going to continue to try to find those topics and bring that value to you and just help you guys learn. Chris and I are teachers at heart, and we want to continue down that path. So expect more of this. Thank you guys for joining us. Go check out our products, the coaches, the services, the agents, and we'll see you next time.
Thanks, everyone. Thanks for being on PitchFest.
Appreciate it.